The shocking fact about this painting is that Caravaggio did not paint the victory. He painted the second before victory becomes unbearable. Most artists preferred to show Judith after the act, already safe, already symbolic. Caravaggio traps us in the instant when the sword is still between decision and consequence. And the strangest thing is not the act itself, it is Judith's face. She is not smiling, she is not triumphant. She looks tense, almost repelled by what she has to do. So today, we are going to follow only one object, this sword, because this blade explains why Judith Beheading Holofernes Times is one of Caravaggio's most psychologically dangerous paintings. And if you enjoy art mysteries hidden in tiny details, subscribe now. This painting is about to change completely. At first glance, the scene is simple. 3 figures, a bed, a dark background, and a red curtain hanging above them like a stage drape. On the left, Holofernes is caught in shadow. On the right, Judith and her maid stand in the light. But between these two worlds, Caravaggio places the sword. This is not just an object inside the story. It is the border of the painting. To the left, there is tyranny. To the right, the fragile human being who has to end it. The sword becomes a line between oppression and liberation, but Caravaggio refuses to make that line beautiful. The Book of Judith tells how a widow enters the enemy camp and uses Holofernes' own sword to save her people. In older art, this often becomes clean moral triumph. The danger is over, and the viewer receives a lesson virtue defeats tyranny. But Caravaggio removes the comfortable ending. He gives us no city, no cheering crowd, no angel, no distance, just a cramped room and a blade. Because it is so close to us, we cannot admire the story from safety. We have to ask, what does justice look like in real time? Look at Judith's expression. This is the heart of the painting. She does not look vengeful. She looks like someone forcing herself to continue. Her body leans forward, but her face pulls away. Her arms are committed, but her mind seems horrified. That contradiction makes Caravaggio feel modern. He is not painting courage as a clean symbol, but as a psychological conflict. Judith is both savior and human being. She knows what must happen inside the story, but Caravaggio lets us see the cost of that necessity on her face. This becomes even more intense when we remember who painted it. Caravaggio arrived in Rome in the 1590s and became famous for making sacred stories feel immediate and theatrical. He used sharp contrasts of light and darkness, ordinary models, and a realism that shocked many viewers. Painted around 1599 to 1600, Judith Beheading Holofernes Times belongs to the moment when Caravaggio made the past feel as if it was happening in the same room as the viewer. Now look at the maid. She changes the meaning of the sword completely. Judith hesitates emotionally, but the maid does not. She leans forward with a sack, ready for what comes next. Her face belongs to experience, not innocence. So the sword is suspended between two women, youth and age, reluctance and resolve, shock and preparation. One woman performs the impossible act, the other makes sure it can be finished. And then there is Holofernes. Caravaggio does not let him become a faceless villain. He gives him the fear of a man who understands too late. If Holofernes were only a monster, the painting would be easy. Caravaggio makes it morally harder. That is why the sword never becomes a clean symbol. It is justice, but it is also fear. It is liberation, but it is also an irreversible line. Caravaggio keeps both meanings alive at once. There is also a fascinating technical detail. X-ray studies have shown that Caravaggio adjusted the position of Holofernes' head while working. So the alignment we see now was not simply copied from a model. Caravaggio changed the image to make it more immediate and psychologically direct. This is the twist. The sword is not only part of the story, it is part of Caravaggio's thinking process. He edits reality in paint, sharpening the moment until we feel its pressure. The first owner of this painting, the banker Ottavio Costa, valued it so much that he reportedly kept it covered with a silk curtain and ordered that it should not be sold or removed from his family collection. That detail feels perfect. This painting almost asks to be revealed slowly, like something too intense to face all at once. So why does this painting still disturb us more than 400 years later? Not because it shows a famous biblical story, not even because it is dramatic. It disturbs us because Caravaggio refuses to simplify the moment. Judith is not only a saint, and the sword is not only a symbol. Instead, he paints the second when courage, fear, and duty meet in one narrow blade. That is why the painting feels alive. It does not tell us what to think. It traps us inside the decision. And now I want to ask you, when you look at Judith's face, do you see courage, disgust, fear, or something else entirely? Write your interpretation in the comments. And if you want more deep art investigations like this, subscribe to the channel because the next painting may hide an even darker question.